Welcome everyone to another WIP Wednesday, and I need to define what the acronym WIP is because I have family and friends who don't know what that is, and I never thought of that because I've been around that acronym for so long. But I guess it's like anything else. If you're not around it, you don't know what it is. It stands for work in process. So this series of WIP Wednesdays is the items or the things that I'm working on, that it's a continual thing. It's a continual project. And sometimes they're long projects, sometimes they're short projects. But this one is just a work in process for the row houses. And give me a good reason to get them done. So let's go. But what I'm going to do is it's going to kind of be difficult on the angle, but I want to carve some bricks into this first because I want to have the underlay of this stucco brick similar to this right here, and to give that illusion that this is stucco that's been put over brick. One thing to note on this is I don't like carving this late in the game usually. That is one area I try to plan ahead because it's much easier to carve this stuff when it's still moist. Carving this stuff when it's dry like this is a pain in the patootie. Anyway, it's a nightmare. So I've carved 3 locations roughly of where I'm gonna, actually 4, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4 of where I'm going to have some brick underlay. And an interesting note, if you see my wood carving tutorial or mentioning me talk about basswood versus balsa wood, this is balsa wood. I thought it'd be a little bit more durable, and it's for home use. But yeah, while I was carving this piece out right here, yeah, I busted them. So anyway, I need to fix those, but not that big of a deal. It just adds to the character of the overall piece. It's like I mentioned before, terrain building is fluid, and you just roll with the punches, and whatever happens. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start trying to carve some of the bricks. So the color I chose was blue, more like a light blue, mostly because it's my favorite color. And I thought it might go nicely with the orange down here, or the orange and the other colors we had. But I had some really good conversations last week. People were giving fantastic suggestions, and it was really hard to choose, to be honest with you. There were several that I was thinking about. But there's a few things that stood out that really, I don't know, for whatever reason, just kind of maybe because it's my personality and maybe who I am. Like over on Reddit, El Vertebraco, one of the first posts mentioned about having it not perfect, there'd be flaws in it, or paint chipping off, and I thought that fit really well with this portion of the roadhouse, because this portion of the roadhouse, to me, the upper tenants were garbage. They were not garbage, but they threw garbage up on top of their roof, and that was kind of the mindset, and that's why there's so much garbage on the roof of this particular section of the row house. And it's going to get cleaner as it goes down the row houses, because this one's kind of the more dilapidated and more not well kept up area. So I thought that fit well with that portion of the row house. So that really struck me. And then I had a long conversation with Steve Hood on, I think it was Terrainiacs. He really went in depth, actually, about various topics. And then there were several people who mentioned blue. Strizzle on Reddit, Red Raven Downs 89 on Reddit. There was even Carl Brooks who went into depth as far as how it possibly could be made and gave several different materials. I thought that's cool. There's a lot of thought being put into that, and I like that. I like when you have thought put into your projects, that you're not just going and thinking about just what's on the outside, but you're actually looking at your project a little bit more in depth. And then there was a really funny comment on Reddit by Gigawatt87. He said, "I'm Stucco Rick." Like I'm stuck on Rick. And it was because of the face on this portion of the row house, which I thought was hilarious. And my boys say it all the time. They have shirts. It was hilarious. And then I think another person went after that. Today's taco goes to Daniel Newman over on Terraniacs. Gave me a swatch, paint swatch, of light blue and some white behind it. And I really liked that. It really jumped out to me. And that's where I first started really leaning heavily towards blue. And then I had a friend, Scooter, he mentioned blue-gray to me as well. So Daniel Newman gets today's taco. So if you're a friend of Daniel, you play games with them, you hang out with them, buy Daniel a taco. Give him a taco, and it'll probably be the best taco he's ever had. I'm gonna go over it with Drakenhof Nightshade and see how that works. This is Citadel paint, or I should say a Citadel shade, since I was corrected by somebody one time. No, I'm not bitter. So far, we've used Lothern blue for the base coat, and we've used Drakenhof Nightshade, and now we're going to use Dolphin gray, which is Ceramcoat by Delta. I'm not gonna lie, some of my paints are probably more than 10 years old. Some of these paints, so I'm not even sure you can get them anymore, but they're still working. I still know how to use them, and I've painted for a long time on them. So we're gonna use this for the dry brush. I'm gonna use just a off-the-shelf brush. It has a little bit softer bristles than the other brushes that I have, so I just want a little bit softer touch on this one. Because Dolphin gray is such a dramatic difference, I'm going to try to be very sparingly. It's jumping to a really light color, which I may change. All right, so we finished up with Dolphin gray. We're gonna move on to soft gray, and I really want to be sparing with this. I don't want to have a lot on my brush, so I want to try to remove as much as I can with my cloth when I do it, because I want to, if anything, I would rather do multiple layers than do my first hit and it be too overpowering and ruin my piece that I got. So let's hope I get this right. Not really done this before, so I haven't done this recipe before, I should say. And I kind of want to go back and just kind of hit edges, just kind of bring those out a little bit, and maybe some of the open areas to make it a little bit more weathered, bring it up a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna do some Druchii violet now, just in kind of some localized areas to get a little bit more color. Moving on to Beltan Green. Now I'm doing this because I want kind of an organic feel, like there's microbes and organisms and crap like that growing. Mother Nature has a way of infiltrating no matter how much you want to keep her out. All right, I want the brick underneath to be a deep red. There's some suggestions for that too. And it's going to use Khorne Red. Khorne Red. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but what do you do? All right, we're gonna do a shade or wash. See, I grew up calling them washes. There was one thing, when you diluted paint, it was a wash. So we're gonna do Agrax Earthshade over this red. All right, during the commercial break, while the wash is drying, I was contemplating if I should paint that curly Q. So I painted it pale yellow, and I'm gonna do a little bit of yellow on part of it as well. But this, I'm just going to be kind of selective and paint at the bottom. Not overly smooth, not necessarily a straight line, just so the lower part gets some yellow. I'll come back and hit with Seraphim Sepia. Okay, the yellow's dry, and so is the red. So we're going to do some dry brushing now with I'm going to do the yellow, just a little bit on the top, buttercream. This is Delta Ceramcoat. I'm just gonna hit the top and, well, basically where my imaginary sun comes down and hits it. I do a little bride dress. Gonna do some dry brushing with Evil Sunz Scarlet, and just gonna hit the brick. I'm gonna use a little bit stiffer brush this time. I think this is this is this is GW's brush, Citadel. All right, not gonna lie, when I went back to do the red, dry brush wasn't cutting it enough for me, so I went back and I did a little bit touch up with this brush with the red, and I didn't turn the camera back on, so sorry you didn't see that. But I'll show you a little bit. I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do it a little bit less with the Wild Rider Red. I wonder who comes up with these names. It'd be fun. I don't want to have this go fiery red. I don't want to have it go pink. So I think what I'm gonna probably end up doing is come back and darken the bottoms up a little bit more and then call it good. Whoops. Oh well. See, when you make a mistake like that, most people won't notice because there's so much going on, and if they do, say it was on purpose. No, I think you should embrace mistakes because they help you if you acknowledge that you made them. Well, I should speak for myself. I can't speak for other people. I try to recognize my mistakes, because if I don't recognize mistakes, then I don't take ownership of that mistake, and I won't fix that mistake because I don't own it. It's not my fault. And if I don't own it, I can't fix it. So, and there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with, well, now I'm getting preachy. Anyway, moving back on the painting. I'm back with Druchii Violet. I'm gonna be selective when I do this. Going back with Beltan Green.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on YouTube.
If you want to support us, you can support us at paypal.me/Platypus Scotsman or Patreon.
Comment below if you have any suggestions you want to see as far as tutorials are concerned. Let us know, and I hope you enjoy this and come back and have a good time.
As always, links are in the description below.
What's wrong with you?
Thought I'd show you a couple of teasers that I will be doing after the row house. I may even interject them to take a break from the row house when it gets to a certain point. But here's a couple projects I want to finish, just some small shacks. I always believe there's a place for Hearst Arts molds. I have a lot of them. I like them. I like using them, and I like to combine them with scratch building because I think it just adds to it. And I believe there's always a place for them. So anyway, I'll get to these in the near future. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Holy crap. Welcome.